Russia is criticizing the US-led airstrikes against the Islamic State's position in Syria, saying that the UN should make the call. Are they just in this request?
I mean, it is a violation of Syrian sovereignty if US is going to, enter the airspace and strike targets within Syria. But there's a little bit of diplomatic game going on with, US criticizing Russia over Ukraine. So obviously this is a good opportunity for Russia to sort of, hit back at the US. So discounting for that, obviously, I mean, yeah, there are legal issues here, but also at the same time, the Syrian officials at the UN were informed, and this is from the Syrian news agency itself. So when they reported it, they didn't say that US requested permission, but it said that US sources informed them. So, it might be one of those things where it's the US is informing them and letting them know that, okay, we don't want to insult you. And then Syrians would say, okay, go ahead and do it, because at the end of the day, it benefits the state, the Syrian state.
But Omar, would it be fair to say that it seems that it's US unilateral decision to strike the Islamic State targets with support from some Arab states?
I mean, as long as they're getting support, it's not unilateral, right? But, that's one of the things that the U.S. has made very sure that it does not look like it's just U.S. doing this. And that's why they've built this really huge coalition. I think it's up to about 40 countries now, like Western nations and then also Arab countries. But unfortunately, the problem over here, again, is the country which is being targeted, the government of that country, for good or for bad, but just in terms of legal speak, they're not on board entirely.
But now, Omar, of course, the innocent civilians are getting caught in the crossfire. What about all the collateral damage in all of this?
Yeah, I mean, the strikes happened, I think, about 12 o'clock last night GMT. So it's still very new. We still don't know exactly what was targeted. I mean, the US Pentagon officials will say one thing, but until we get sources on the ground reporting us differently, we won't be able to verify. But as far as I know, I mean, there has been more collateral damage. Again, as far as I know.
All right.
But yeah.
But Omar, what exactly are these jihadists trying to achieve? Let's start there.
Yeah, I mean, so there are lots of things that they're trying to achieve, right? And their objectives in Iraq might be different from their objectives in Syria. The biggest objective, obviously, is something like establishment of an Islamic State or the Caliphate. But that's the ideological goal. The more strategic goal, and then the short run, is to be able to hold territory, which can sort of mount a significant challenge to the Iraqi government and the Syrian government. And tactically, right now, I think they just want to score some points against the US.
Very quickly, Omar, before I let you go, what is the likely aftermath of these attacks? Because whenever the US attacks, the result is chaos as those targeted actually mete out revenge attacks.
Yeah. I'm from the US, so I wish somebody like you would say this in the US as well, because over there, they don't seem to understand that whenever the US enters, whether for good intentions or bad intentions, the result ends up being much worse. And I would expect the jihadists who are suffering from a lot of infighting are actually now going to unite against the US and put their old battles behind. But yeah, I don't think good things are going to come out of this.
All right, Omar, thank you so much for your time and knowledge right here on PM News. That's Mr. Omar Shawkat from Afro Middle East Center, shedding some light into the situation in Syria.